The market is absolutely on fire. Dow closing, crushing actually through 26,000, and this time it's stuck, right? And even more so, it's interesting because we have this potential government shutdown looming, and we all, of course, are going to have more on this. But we got to begin with one of the biggest news stories of the week, of the short year. It's Apple, the tech giant, the latest company to accelerate U.S. investing in job creation, and they cited Trump's tax reform. Apple reportedly issuing certain employees bonuses, $2,500 worth of restricted stock units, and there's so much more to this plan. The company also announcing that it's going to contribute $350 billion to the U.S. economy over the next 5 years, create 20,000 jobs. Also, Apple said it expects repatriation tax of roughly $38 billion. You know what that means? They're bringing back almost $250 billion, all because of the new GOP tax reform bill. American workers clearly benefiting from the new tax law, but President Trump still not getting the credit he deserves. With me now, my panel, Fox News political contributor Tammy Bruce, who's also Independent Women's Voice Board of Directors member. Liz Peek, thefiscaltimes.com columnist. Gina Loudon, Donald J. Trump for President Advisory Board member. Ford O'Connell, the CivicForumPAC chairman. Hey, let me start with you, Gina. President Trump not getting the credit. Even yesterday in the New York Times, there was an article that Americans are really warming up to the new tax laws and that they're really excited, but they don't give Trump the credit.
Well, I think they will as they start to see the actual money and it starts to make an actual difference in their lives. You know, these numbers, the reason that the swamp can avoid this topic and can pretend like this isn't happening and call it crumbs, Charles, is because $1,000 isn't that much money to them. But it is a lot of money to most Americans. And I think when they see it in their paycheck, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, Ford, I don't even think anyone's debating the money anymore. You know, I mean, we've seen enough footage of Nancy Pelosi touting the virtues of $40. Certainly 1,000 here, 2,000 there, and 2,500 there means an awful lot to a lot of people. I think now the big fight going forward is going to be who gets credit. And right now, ironically enough, a lot of people still think it was the previous administration.
Well, look, there's no question about it. Donald Trump is not getting the credit he deserves. And to be perfectly honest with you, Charles, if I'm Republicans running campaigns, I'm going to run that Nancy Pelosi clip over and over here. But the real concern is who's going to get the credit when the 2018 midterm elections occur. And if I'm a Republican in a moderate district, I need to go out and make the case. I don't care whether or not you like Donald Trump. But what you cannot argue with is the success and the results. And the fact is, we have the best economy in decades. Consumer confidence is through the roof. And we've had over 2 million jobs, you know, create. What more do you got to do, given how bad we've been over the last 8 years? But guess what? Nancy Pelosi and Democrats are going to keep poo-pooing on it.
Yeah, you know, Liz, you watch markets for a long time, and just like myself, there's something unique about the market. The market goes up, but the way this market has gone up under President Trump, last year I think was the best relationship between a huge rally and less volatility. In other words, there's a certain confidence to this market we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, I think there's a real sea change in how people feel about business, about how business managers feel about their prospects. We've seen it in all the confidence numbers. As far as who gets credit for the bonuses and so forth, the Wall Street Journal did a survey of 68 economists across different disciplines.
But they only have 68 votes.
No, that's true. But you know, Charles, I also think this is a movement. I actually think it's a movement. It's not just big companies. Remember, it's also small companies. Now hundreds of them across the country. In every community, people are beginning to say, hey, what about your employer?
Sure.
Did they raise your wages and so forth? I think that's huge.
And Tammy, if you look closely at the data, a lot of this enthusiasm has just occurred over the last 60 to 90 days. So there's no doubt, you know, why it's happening, but it's just a matter of finding a way to make sure that the Republicans know how to seize upon this, knowing that the mainstream media won't let them.
Yeah, look, part of this enthusiasm is based in the reality of, oh, this is Donald Trump. He made a promise. This is what we thought he would do. Look, he's doing it. At least, of course, during the legislative fight for the tax reform. That's why it's important for them. It's not just important politically for supporters of the president, but for this enthusiasm to continue for the right reasons. Otherwise, it could be, of course, at risk for anyone who wants to say something that's a lie or that's different. And what the president can do, he needs to realize this clearly is an election year. rally after rally after rally. He needs to go to cities that will have to be covered, and they have big blow-ups of all the names of the companies and what they're giving out, so that those events are attached to him. And it's important that the reality is reinforced through what this president does and where he travels.
Of course, Gina, President Trump was scheduled to go to Pennsylvania. That's a state that he turned. That was a state where, he worked really hard. And everyone between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh got the epiphany. Ed Randall, in fact, Rendell was really upset with Hillary Clinton because she just forgot about those folks. So I agree with Tammy. Going to the people that got him there in the first place is probably the way to get this done.
Yeah, and I think that there are other unintended consequences that we'll see, in addition to employers giving either raises or bonuses or all of these kinds of things. Remember, unintended consequences under Democrats, it was things like people lose their health insurance, people can't afford the premiums. These unintended consequences, such as jobs coming back to the United States from overseas and all of these bonuses and benefits, in the long run are going to keep replicating themselves, because when you free a market economy like this, things that are good happen and continue to happen. And so I think we'll see more.
Liz, I have to agree with that. I think success begets success.
Absolutely.
Excitement begets excitement. I'm already seeing that in the market, where I've been seeing sessions where there's panic buying. Hey, the train is leaving the station.
Yeah. And by the way, here's something that none of us anticipated. This is sort of a stimulus, right? If you have 2 million workers spending a $1,000 bonus or $2,000 bonus out there, nobody really saw that coming.
Right. And guys, I want to shift gears, of course, because the big story right now, we've got the 48 hours potentially for a government shutdown. Lawmakers still trying to cut a deal to keep the government open, but it's a big fight. The essential piece of this is immigration and the wall, and of course overall spending for it is in jeopardy. And listen, we've seen this movie so many times before that we almost yawn, though, to be quite frank with you. We think Friday, late Friday, there'll be word that they've kicked the can down the road and bought themselves another 45 days. Yet the central issues here, whether immigration, DACA, the wall, they're not going to go away.
No, they're not going to go away. And look, I don't think we're going to have a shutdown, because essentially I think it's going to be very hard for Democrats to basically turn down a 6-year extension on child care. But going forward, you're absolutely right. We do have to come up with a solution for DACA. The problem is I really don't think Dems want to make a deal, because essentially Republicans are ready to actually give them permanent protections, but it's got to be in exchange for stronger immigration controls. And frankly, the Democrats don't want that. They want to use this as a battering ram against President Trump. The Republicans are going to have to find a way to unify and to decide what solution it is they want. They're all going to have to get behind it, show they can govern, and move forward. And if they get a 2-year spending extension beyond that, guess what? It's going to be a really good path going forward.